Hello everyone, welcome to this channel. Okay, let's talk about the game yesterday between Barcelona and Mallorca. This game was how can I say it? Uh, it was awkward, really weird in a way. It was not what you would normally expect from a Barcelona game. Uh, I would say that unfortunately for situations that happen, the game uh, kind of changed its rhythm. And well, I would say that yes, the players had the energy and the intention to win, but the superiority of Barcelona wasn't clear at the beginning. The atmosphere, I would say that, yeah, Mallorca was kind of having some intensity, going to press a little more, not letting Barcelona play completely free. And yeah, that was good. That made the game be very enjoyable. The atmosphere, the camera angle, even the weather made things look strange. Still, one thing was certain, Lamine Yamal. I think we are going to get used to see him play at such a high level so often that eventually we might think less of it. But it's incredible that at his age, he's already getting us accustomed to brilliance. In the same way, people get used to seeing Messi's genius game after game, week after week when he played. Now, about the fouls and the two red cards for Mallorca, I believe the game was already open before that with, I would say it was already, I would say Barcelona was bound to win anyway in the game. With Rafinha's goal and Ferran Torres' goal, Barcelona was already on the path to victory. The team took ready some score. The team looked ready to score more goals and push forward, but when Mallorca went down to 9 players, they changed their tactics completely. They became extremely defensive, stopped pressing, and focused only on preventing more goals. This led to a dilemma. Some people might say Barcelona wasn't trying hard enough, but at the same time, the team still created chances, like Dani Olmo's shot that hit the post. There were also moments where players chose to shoot instead of making a simple pass to a teammate who was in a better position. Because of this, the game didn't feel complete. Barcelona could have gone all out and scored at least 5 goals before relaxing. Instead, the team eased off while Mallorca stayed back and defend. This type of situation makes me think about the Champions League. If teams like Inter or others set up this kind of low block, it will be very difficult for Barcelona, PSG, and other attacking teams like Manchester City, Arsenal. Smaller clubs like Mallorca can frustrate big teams by locking themselves into a defensive block. Without the red cards, Mallorca probably would have been more offensive and the game would have been more intense. Comparing it with the preseason games in Asia, Barcelona had to move the ball much faster against Mallorca. Against Vessel Kobe, they also had to go hardcore because of the intensity of how Vissel Kobe was playing. Against the Korean and Italian teams, not so much. But here we saw that same energy and speed again. Now, let's talk about the players. Fermin started. Lewandowski is still injured, so Ferran Torres stepped up, pressing high and contributing well. Rafinha as well gave 110%. He's a player who never stops running, always goes forward, always gives everything. If you ask me, I always want a player like Rafinha on the team. Maybe he doesn't have the same natural brilliance as Lamine Yamal, but his energy, his heart, and his attitude are contagious. Players like him and Gavi set the tone for the whole squad. They inspire others to push harder simply by doing it themselves, not by talking. In that kind of energy wins trophies, my friends. Lamine Yamal, on the other hand, is a pure talent. His confidence grows every game. He's dangerous because he draws 2 or 3 defenders to him opening spaces for the others in the other side of the pitch. We even saw a play where three Mallorca defenders clash into each other while trying to stop him before he scored an incredible goal. Now, he also caused one of the red cards by breaking through, I don't know, by what, so like 4 players before being fouled. What impressed me the most is that at his age, he's already making key passes and assists even better than Messi did at the same age. And I'm gonna say it, yes, my friends. He's like, every time I think about Messi, when Messi started, he was making simple passes, but he wasn't the main guy making the passes. I don't know, maybe also they were playing different. I believe Lamine Yamal is developing this skill of making passes, right? Lamine Yamal is taller, he could grow more and might even add headers to his arsenal. His potential is limitless right now. Uncertain, we really don't know. I'm glazing, I know, because I've seen a player like this. I don't realize sometimes how good of a player Lamine Yamal is yet, because he's starting to make it like consistent and simple. On defense, the backline didn't have much to do because Mallorca barely attacked. Still, Araujo deserves credit. Some doubt him, but I trust Hansi Flick's judgment. When Araujo is confident, he's one of the best solid defenders in Europe, my friends, as he showed with Xavi Hernandez when Barça won La Liga and the Supercopa. Yes, he struggles with the ball. He said in an interview that it was not his thing. Like he had to work hard to be better at controlling the ball. Yes, he struggles. The ball is compared to other Barca players, but physically he's a tank, dominant in the air and one of a kind, my friends. It's a player that we don't have in Barcelona. We have defenders that can control the ball, but Araujo is strong. He can really if he becomes confident, he can be guarding all the aerial attacks that the opposite team is going to be sending. The good thing is that Barca now has a bit more of everything. Yamal is attracting defenders, Lewandowski as the perfect number 9, creative players like Fermin or Dani Olmo. Now, I would say that Olmo especially shines in tight spaces, as we saw when he almost scored after hitting the post. Fermin is better when the game is more open and the opposite team is pressing. Also, when we need to press, like that's when Fermin shines a lot. Gavi also thrives in tight areas. I think out of Gavi has a little bit of Dani Olmo and Fermin Lopez. Pedri and Frankie de Jong carry the ball brilliantly from deep and create chances. This mix-up of profiles makes Barcelona a very versatile team. Pau Cubarsí also showed his strength in defense. Even when he couldn't win the ball cleanly, he forced Mallorca's attackers into making mistakes. In goal, Joan Garcia had an easy debut since Mallorca's shots were soft, but still, he got a clean sheet. That's important for confidence, you know. One controversial moment was Rafinha's challenge. Some say it could have been a red card, but I agree with the referee's decision. It looked more like a slip, not an intentional attempt to injure, which is why it stayed as a yellow. I believe that was a judgment of the referee, but we have seen these things happening before, and normally the player gets a red card. We saw with Real Madrid, Tchouaméni doing this to Dani Olmo, and he didn't. I think he got also a yellow card. But in my opinion, as if I was not a Barca fan, I was in the opposite team. For me, it would be a red card. But still with a yellow card, I think it will be okay for me. Now, Ferran Torres deserves some mention. He doesn't feel like a natural number 9, but he keeps scoring. Perhaps because defenders don't expect him in that role. They'll see him as a number 9, a dangerous number 9. So it seems like it's working on his favor. Little by little, he's improving himself. as a reliable scorer. As for Mallorca's red cards, both were deserved, one for a direct foul, the other for 2 yellows. Without those, the game might have been more balanced. Finally, about the substitutions, Dani Olmo scored, Condé helped create a space with Yamal, and the rest of the second group played decently, though not enough to make the game exciting again. The second half was very boring because Barcelona slowed down with the 2-goal lead, and Mallorca focused only on defense. Still, the clean sheet and debut for Joan Garcia in La Liga is a positive. So Barcelona played seriously, created chances, and won comfortably. But the match lost intensity after Mallorca's red card. Personally, I would have liked to see them push harder and go for at least 5 goals. But in the end, it was a solid performance with highlights for Yamal, Rafinha, Ferran, and a strong defense backbone, because there was not much action for the midfielders and the defenders. So this is my recap and opinion about the game. Now tell me, what do you think? Share your opinions with me down in the comment section. Have a good day.